If you have a full-time job and you try to make trading work, you try to learn trading, you try to kickstart it, you eventually want to maybe quit your job and you want to be able to trade full-time, then this video here is for you. I'll share with you the things to do, how to start trading when you have a full-time job, what things you can do about it. Maybe you have a 9 to 5, maybe you have a more demanding job or you're really busy, don't have time to look at the charts. This is going to answer all these questions and give you a quick path on how to move forward with this full-time job and trading at the same time kind of thing. First thing I want to mention here is that I actually did this for myself for 2 years. In the very beginning of my training journey, I was a full-time student at university. That took a lot of my time. I was studying back then in supply chain management. And the next 2 years, I worked full-time jobs. So I was doing internships, working from anywhere from 9 to 5 to maybe 8 to sometimes 6 to sometimes even like 6 to 4 p.m. pretty much every single day. Those were the years where I was trying to learn to trade. I was kind of getting a bit more consistency, but I still had to manage both my job and trading. And at least the last 2 years were the most important years of my trading journey because I learned the right habits that led me to becoming profitable. Eventually, I was able to quit my job and get out of that supply chain management kind of career path I was on. And I'm really happy at it. But the things I did really in those 2 years of working full-time and trading were really impactful to my trading nowadays. If you think about it, this is really where the transformation happens. You transform before you quit your job to be able to then quit and build something bigger. Now, maybe you don't want to quit your job. Maybe you want to keep your job and you love it and you just want to trade at the same time. And that's totally cool. That's perfect. That's awesome. But keep in mind that building the right habits now and managing this properly now will help you a lot in the years to come. So first thing you gotta do is you gotta set a sort of trading window. So either you go set a trading window of 1 to 2 hours maximum, where you're gonna be at the chart, you're gonna be looking for trades for 1 to 2 hours a day maximum. Don't pick this while you're at work, pick this before or after work, or maybe even like at lunch hour if you want, if you really wanna do that. Either you go that path, or you go and you actually look at higher time frames. So when you trade daily and weekly charts, these are very high level time frames that you don't need much time on. You can just look at the chart once a day or once a week, and you'll see all your setups that you need to take for that day or that week. This is a very, very high kind of time frame with very low maintenance. So either you pick a more intensive trading style, which can be for people who are more like day traders, want to be more active in the market, and then guys who prefer to just stay back and relax and look at the chart once a day, they'll be happy to with a daily chart kind of routine. Back when I was at work, I used to only trade daily charts. And it's funny because I went back to trading daily charts only nowadays. About 2 years ago, I was trading multiple time frames. Went back to daily charts in 2024, very early in the year. And now I'm only at daily charts and weekly charts. So it kind of shows how sometimes the things you learn early on in your trading journey kind of come back to work for you later on in your career. It's kind of fun. Now, if you want to see how I trade daily charts, I'll leave below the video where I go through my entire strategy. You can actually watch this and learn all I do. As the stuff I do every single day, the strategies I follow, the kind of trades I take. You'll have a good look at this. So check it out. It'll be the first video link below. Also link here on the screen. You can have a look. And I'll give you more details into the chart that I look at, the analysis I do, and how that all works out together. Now, I gotta mention the fact that it's okay to feel sort of disconnected from your job. A lot of people who trade with a full-time job, and me also in the beginning, I was very guilty of that. You don't really like your job. You don't want to be there. You want to be trading. Like that's what you love the most. And it's okay to feel like your job is kind of in the way, or you kind of feel not connected too much to your work. You don't feel really happy about what you do, and you kind of want to just kind of quit and just trade full-time. And that's a very normal feeling. Some people don't feel that. I feel I guess they're kind of lucky. They love their job and that's all good. Back then, I didn't love my job. It was very boring. I was a student out of university with a lot of good knowledge, but really know what to apply it because I was just kind of doing like boring work. But you gotta understand here that your job is actually what's funding your trading account long term. It's the thing that will actually allow you to put fuel into trading and kind of grow and have better results long term. So yes, your job is not necessarily nice and maybe boring, but it's actually gonna pay for your expenses and your trading account eventually. So treat it nicely. Find ways to maybe level up if you can. Like find ways to get promotions if you can. Find ways to do a bit more task or work or go beyond what you usually paid for so that you can level up and maybe get a higher salary and then build your account better that way. And if you can, this is a plus, but try to aim for a more flexible schedule where you actually have time for trading. You can actually make your own hours and maybe you leave a bit before, or you come in a bit early in the morning to be able to trade at night, or come in a bit later to be able to trade in the morning. These kinds of flexible hours will help you a lot to find time for trading also. But the key thing here is the job is important. You might not like it, but you got to treat it well and I guess respect your boss for some time, even though it doesn't feel like it always. and that will allow you to fund your account and grow in the future as well. Here we get to the really technical part of trading and actually kind of making it work for you with a full-time job. I really believe you gotta set alerts, but I'm not gonna come here and say, okay, Jack, just put alerts in the chart and be done with it. I want you to create your own custom alert. So most people, when they think of alerts, they think of, okay, I'm gonna look at the price here, 165.3. I put an alert there. When price reaches there, I have my alert ringing. That doesn't help anyone. That's not useful for anyone out there. This is like really boring stuff. What I want you to do is really create your own custom alerts. So you create your strategy, you have a plan of what you're looking to trade, you have a setup. When that setup form, find a way to get alerts on your charts. I did this myself a few months back. I started this like 2 years ago, where I started to code my own setups into scripts that show me the setup on the chart. But with that, I can also put alerts on these setups. So when they occur, I have an alert on my phone on TradingView. I just look at the chart, boom, take the trade, and that's it. And we're done. This reduces my chart time by a lot. I don't have to look every single day if I don't want to. And I know everything happening in the market, everything useful. I have an alert on my chart when that setup occurs. For some people here, the tech might get in the way. Like you don't want to code stuff, you don't have to be tech savvy. And you can actually do this really, really easily with ChatGPT or with AI these days. So it's actually really a must. I think you got to do that. You got to do this because you'll, first of all, save a lot of time, a lot of chart time, and you won't miss as many setups as you do before. You don't have to be there to look at setups yourself. So create your own custom alert. Make sure you know when your setup occur in the market. Don't just use like random price alerts which don't help anyone. Actually code something useful for you that will be based on your strategy, your setup. You can see how I did this, how I coded my own indicator. I'll leave a video link below. You'll also have it here in the corner, which show you step by step how I coded my own custom indicators for TradingView on ChatGPT. This is really cool stuff that anyone can do. You need no coding experience. You don't need any kind of technical skills, just how to be able to write and tell ChatGPT what you want. It can save you a lot of time and be very useful for a long time too. So check it out. Very useful stuff. And I want to make this point here, which is very important too, which is you got to set yourself some kind of goal. Be ambitious a little bit here. Even if you don't want to quit your job at all, you love your job, you want to be there every single day, you love your boss, which could happen for sure. Or maybe you're the boss in some ways. Give yourself a goal, no matter what that is. It could be some kind of goal, but it could be a goal to stay in your job and have trading on the side. But be ambitious. Set a goal that's like challenging you a little bit. Why is that? Well, because goals actually force you to find solutions. If you tell yourself, my goal is to be able to make $100,000 in trading next year, maybe you don't quite achieve it, but maybe you are getting closer to it because your brain actually is trying to reach that goal. It's going to find ways to get there faster. Even if you don't think about it every single day, it's going to find ways to achieve that goal. As long as you are reminded of your goal and you actually have a plan to get there somehow, you will make some progress toward that goal. Any goal you set for yourself, if it's kind of challenging a little bit, it switches on your growth mindset. It's focusing you on the future and on finding solutions to be able to achieve that goal. This is something I did from day one because I was kind of ambitious. I wanted to be able to reach higher levels in trading. And to be honest, I didn't reach my goals most of the years. Most of the time, I kind of fell short of my goal. But the goals I set for myself helped me to level up and they helped me to get closer to the result I wanted. Many of those goals, I achieved them like maybe a year or two later, but that's still good to me. That's still a matter of growth. I think you're better off setting goals than not having any goals at all and trying to kind of find your way and not having any plan or any future in mind. So that's up to you if you do it or not, but I think it makes a big difference. Again, if you want to see how I trade, I can only share my perspective here on how to actually do this with a full-time job. Hope you take this advice. If you want to see how I trade here, check out this video here on the screen next. You'll see how I look at the chart, what things I follow, how the daily chart works, why it's so powerful. And I'll catch you back there in that video right now. Ciao.